Alright. Ready?
Sure.
Yeah, well, this will get us going.
Did we not start this yet?
We're getting so good at that. Whew. Uh-huh.
Are we just now loading into GarageBand?
No, we're good on that aspect of it. You ready again?
We need music playing?
3, 2, 1.
Hello, Biohacker Nation.
Really? Hold on.
What's going on?
We need music.
That's why I asked yes and we, okay. So
let's go do the normal thing. Ready?
Music gonna play this time?
Shut your mouth on 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Biohacker Nation. We are back once again. Of course, this is Dr. Mike and the Mad Scientist.
Jim, what's up, Biohacker Nation? Should I just get going with the usuals?
Yeah, let's just go straight into it this time.
Okay, we are not here to diagnose, treat, or cure any of your crap. So, go find it. Yeah.
Jumping off real aggressive today. Awesome.
Yeah, it's happened. So, we're not here to diagnose, treat, or cure anything. Find a competent healthcare professional to do so. The information contained here is purely educational and an entertainment value only. So with that being said, you guys have been awesome, by the way, this week with your direct messages, with your likes. We've grown our Instagram now to, what, 14,000?
It's getting up there.
Which
awesome.
Is really, really picking up steam. We greatly appreciate that. And with that appreciation, we always get asked for one more thing. If you like it, give us a 5-star honest review of how much you like it and why you like it. Easy enough. Also, Podbean has a phenomenal little thing you can click and you can contribute to this little 501c3 nonprofit we've got going on here. I volunteer, and I'm volunteering that you click on that button and contribute to this and upgrade these studios, upgrade the information, and that way we can do this full time. And full time, you know, I'm sitting there today listening to a couple guys in the gym saying, you know, I take my creatine now, and the guy says, no, you take it after. He says, is there a difference? Oh yeah, big difference.
There's a guy on the forum I heard about said this. Yeah. No, that's it.
No, that was it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Guys still know what they do, and I want to be able to reach everybody and give them the best information possible so they know what to do, how to do it, and for those that actually want to get better can actually biohack their lives to be better, which is kind of a little segue about being better of testosterone.
Oh, hey, look at that. Something everyone, well, at least most guys really strive for is, how can you get more tea? I need more tea.
Which is amazing with these 20-year-olds and
That
these
should have,
16,
what,
17,
level?
18-year-olds that have natural levels through the roof.
They're the ones who are always asking for it. Got to increase it. Not
Right.
the, you know, getting in the upper 40s, 50s.
All the
At
time.
that point, you know, they're just having normal issues you're supposed to have as we age, which we've talked about that before. Yeah.
So there's some ways to increase testosterone, some ways not to. If you already have, and I'm saying not to by literally pissing your money away. Those that already have naturally high levels are taking these secretagogues, which forces your body to produce more of something if it needs it. And if it doesn't need it, it's not happening. So the stuff you find at GNC, I'll get into a little bit. A lot of those ingredients are crap in the first place. But on the other hand, if you actually had good quality ingredients that are actually designed to work and you have low levels of certain things that, like I said, I'll get into, then yeah, it'll help produce it and bring it up to better levels.
Back to saying not all supplements are created equal, huh?
They are not.
Of bioavailability.
And part of that,
It actually works in the human system.
an old video that we had where I tested out one of the Testo Explode. The greatest supplement ever.
Yes.
Sit on your butt and do nothing, and you will get ripped and shredded and yoked. ESPN
So
was
is that one
advertising
pushed
it.
back by the NFL?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. That was
Colin
fun.
Kaepernick was taking it, and so yeah, put that video up on the show notes so everyone can watch that. And that crazy mad scientist-looking guy with the full beard on there.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I still had a beard when I did that one, but I figured why not resurrect that, have a little fun.
Yeah, easier than photoshopping the beard off.
So obviously there's a lot of crap ton of supplements. I had to throw that in there.
Hashtag it.
Hashtag crap ton. And let's just get a little into testosterone and what it is in the system.
Sure.
So you have tightly bound testosterone, which is like
I do.
2/3 of the testosterone in your entire body.
Mm-hmm.
And you have tightly bound testosterone. It must not be working, obviously, because it does nothing for you. Your body really doesn't utilize it. Then you've got moderately bound testosterone, which is almost the other third. And again, your body's not really utilizing it much at all. Then you've got free testosterone, not bound to anything, just floating around. This testosterone here,
Must be the good stuff because you're smiling about it. We talked about it.
1 to 4% of testosterone. And this stuff is the stuff that binds to the androgen receptors. There's an enzyme 5-alpha reductase. It converts this free testosterone into hydrotestosterone. This is going to start being a tongue twister. And this is a very potent androgen. Big deal to have the free testosterone. That's why you see around what's the free testosterone levels, as opposed to what's my tightly bound testosterone here. It's got to be free floating for it to use it. Otherwise, it's not happening.
It's in there, but not really doing anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, believe it or not, men also need a little supplement called estrogen. I'm not talking about supplement. I'm talking
Supplement,
about
huh?
yeah, it needs a supplement in the body. It needs to happen.
They have that at genes? No, I'm not even on that route.
Some supplement companies make it, and some drug companies make it. It's called an anti-aromatase inhibitor. Yeah, big one. And this is also used as a test booster.
Mm-hmm.
You lower the estrogen levels, testosterone goes up. As testosterone goes up, estrogen also goes up. So now you have more testosterone in the system, estrogen's low, so you need more testosterone, so it can convert to estrogen, and so estrogen stays low, testosterone goes up. Making sense?
I mean, for me, yes. I mean,
This happens with the aromatase
aromatase,
enzyme.
yeah.
I like the aromatase. It smells like a fine Italian meal, aromatase. The aromatase of CYP19A1. Get that on the menu. Now we're going to a Chinese restaurant where you just order a number. Take the CYP19A1.
one of your 100 estrogens, please.
So this has been a big deal. Individuals using, and yeah, it works. It does work. The best types are pharmaceuticals, and it does not work as well in women as does men because men have higher amounts of test and higher amounts of estrogen, and they don't need as much estrogen, but they still have it, and you need it. The most boring ways, I gotta say, to increase testosterone, and I'm saying boring ways because people here are probably tuning in saying, how do I increase my testosterone? What supplements can I take? We're still getting into that.
How do you lift differently?
A number one. So I say most boring because you can't do anything other than get long, restful sleep.
Is that 8 hours plus BS?
Yup, where you actually get through all the cycles of your sleep. It's been shown that when you're not sleeping as much, your testosterone levels go down.
Yeah, it's rather significant, at least from the studies I read. It can be quite significant.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
So it's either you go too high or too little sleep, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And most people don't get that too much of sleep unless they're going through some tough, depressing time, and or it's dark 24 hours a day and there's nothing else to do. The other things, that's kind of boring, if you would.
Let's get them out of the way.
Is to have moderate exercise. Weird. I mean, and I say moderate. If you do too much, too hard, you're a marathon trainer, an ultra marathoner, CrossFitter, you're overdoing it. You have widespread inflammation, testosterone goes down. Now, moderate meaning 30 to 45 minutes of actual movement of moderate exercise. Not
You're not an
just
hour on the treadmill. That's 0 time. Just to point that out. No, that's actually a big deal. I spent an hour in the gym. 30 minutes was talking to somebody. 15 minutes was sitting on the bicycle. 15 minutes was in the locker room. That's not what we're talking about.
Not one bit. Another idea is be around the right weight. I know people start saying BMI is garbage. It's based on false formulas. When you're, say, 6 foot, 215 pounds, and 7.5% body fat, and you can still run a mile in 6 minutes, and you're now deadlifting 500 pounds, obviously you're a fine specimen, but the BMI says you're obese.
Who's obese in the room?
Yeah. You didn't call me any names.
But
with that being said, most of the general population that doesn't work out, that does desk jobs all day, and doesn't move, eats garbage, yeah, that's what the general population, the BMI, is designed for. So when you're coming into a doctor's office and they say that you're obese based upon the body mass index, and you don't do anything, that's the general population they're really comparing you to. On the flip side, if you're way too skinny and don't do anything, that's the general population that they're comparing you to. It's not really designed for athletes, certain types of athletes. I mean, there's the recreational individual that likes to play softball on the weekends or hockey or just goes for a nice run here or there. That's one individual. I'm talking about he or she that takes it to that next level. Someone who can train as an elite athlete, whether they are finely skilled and tuned as an elite athlete or not is another measure.
2+ hour exercising a day.
The fun stuff, the good stuff.
Bring memories back, yep.
So a couple of supplements. I know everyone's wanting
That's
to
what
know
they
this
want.
one here.
Let's spend some money. Put something in me, less effort, right? Well, if we have to do it, there are better things to go for.
Right.
At least put things in that work.
And what do they also compare it to is certain labs. Different labs have different levels which are normal. So one lab, you and I can both get tested at 2 separate labs and have the exact same results. Like we can, to the T, have the exact same results. And one of us could be lethargic, a little bit overweight, can't lose fat whatsoever, and the other one can't stop losing fat. They're just totally different individuals like that. And that's because no 2 labs can really agree on what proper levels are. So if we can't agree what proper levels are and compare only the general population, then there needs to be some kind of a baseline per individual, and only that individual can get measured upon their own understanding and baseline, and it comes down to a lot of subjectivity then on how do you feel.
As I'll say, a big reason why labs can't agree with it is, you kind of touched on it, everyone's different.
Right.
I mean, I might need a different amount to be fully functional at my best than you are. That's kind of the whole point of it is, well, figure it out. So they do have the generalizations, but you'll know if there's a problem. You can feel it.
And the anti-aging specialists are so specialized because they have to tweak and figure out, when it comes to hormone replacements, how's the person feeling, how are they reacting, what's going on?
A lot of variables.
Huge. It's not like you can just say, hey, take this many pills or cc's of whatever, and for all men at the age of 55 to 60 works.
That'd be nice. It's just not the world that
not
the way
one
it is.
bit. Right. So everyone's very different on that. Also, with any supplementation that I'm about to get into, there's that bell curve that we talked about on one of our other podcasts. If you're deficient, you need it. If you are not deficient and you keep taking something, you may start to have negative adverse effects from it.
Too much of a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'm going to get into is good old vitamin D. Yep, believe it or not, vitamin D has been shown and been proven to increase testosterone levels. A little bit of sunshine goes a long way. Now again, how much vitamin D? Well, you got to get your blood measured. And you got to figure out, where are you at? What should you be? What are your testosterone levels at certain levels of your vitamin D as well? I mean, there's a lot of factors that go in.
You know, like how are you getting it? Are you getting it from food? Are you getting it from supplements? Are you getting it from outside? Like, I mean, not everyone knows this yet, but I tend to be a little paler than the average person. So the amount of, you're smiling already, amount of vitamin D I get from being outside might not be the same as you, who are outside any given chance you get.
Right.
So there are different things that play a factor with that.
Another big factor is zinc, believe it or not. Now, zinc is lost through sweat. So athletes oftentimes can be deficient in zinc because, well, they sweat a lot. And if you're not eating zinc-rich foods, such as meat, such as nuts, and try to stay away from the peanuts on that one, and the cashews, even though they're delicious, due to the lecithins in them, you can start having a pro-inflammatory reaction. Now, stick towards your almonds. Walnuts are phenomenal for it, and you should be just fine. Other nuts, Brazil nuts, while they're delicious, again, heavy metal toxins. Depends how much you want to actually get into this.
Always more variables.
Another phenomenal supplement is magnesium. Again, like zinc, is lost through sweat. And there's a lot of individuals in this country that are highly magnesium deficient.
Yeah, last I read was around 90% of people are deficient in magnesium.
I'd say that's the
What
majority.
General things. Yes, I mean, I was agreeing with you. That wasn't supposed to be a disagreement statistic. But no, I mean, it's almost everyone could use it.
Do you have a favorite magnesium source?
The source?
Yeah,
Food.
What kind of food? I'm just saying because I want to say mine.
Go ahead.
100% pure cacao. Oh my goodness. You throw it into one of yeah, throw that into one of my peanut butter cup smoothies that I like to make. Phenomenal. I just said stay away from peanuts.
Well, do as we say, do as we do. It just got me to the biobark thought when you said cacao.
Oh, the biobark. I'm going to make that tonight. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up.
Am I seeing you tomorrow? Because if so, I want some.
You will see me tomorrow. There will be none left, but you will see me tomorrow. That sounds delicious, though. But yeah, cacao, dark chocolate is a phenomenal source of magnesium. One supplement just for our listeners to stay away from is magnesium oxide. It has a 4% bioavailability rate. So you're only getting 4%. Eat rust is what you're doing. There you go. How much rust, in a handful of rust, are you going to absorb?
I actually do have an answer to your question. You just caught me a little off guard with this. My favorite source of magnesium. I do this, I call it my pain protocol. A lot of times I'm sore. It is what it is. I love Epsom salt baths. I mean, that is probably my favorite way to get magnesium because I can just sit there, listen to music, and I tend to be deficient. I get my own science for it. It seems to help out, but I like the idea of biobark. Biobark in the bathtub.
There you go.
Now we're talking a good night.
Now there's some supplements such as maca. Are you familiar with maca? Maca is an aphrodisiac, if you will. People think that it's because it raises your testosterone. Believe it or not, it doesn't raise your testosterone one bit.
Debunked.
However, based on subjective testing, it does, in the majority of individuals, raise libido without influencing testosterone whatsoever. So just because you see a attractive person walk by, they smell good, they look right, and you're taking maca, doesn't mean your test is going up at all. It just is. And the weird part at this point, it's not 100% understood how it works. It's just known that it does work.
Was it shown against placebo? I mean, there's always the chance of it being placebo. If you're saying, hey, this is an aphrodisiac, people might end up start using it. But if not, it's kind of interesting. I didn't know that because I've heard a lot about it with increasing testosterone before, but I've never read into that one.
DHEA.
Okay.
DHEA does convert directly to testosterone. It is a hormone that you can take. There's my also disclaimer that I forgot to everybody. Everything we talk about, if you do play a sport, please check the World Anti-Doping Association regulations. Things such as DEA, while you can get it over the counter, make sure it's a pharmaceutical grade source because some sources have been known not to be so hot. But don't get busted for playing a sport and taking something over the counter.
Just having natural high testosterone sometimes flags those tests anyway.
Exactly.
So, yeah, definitely good warning on that one.
So DHEA, though, here's the caveat, you 16-year-olds. In individuals that are deficient, testosterone has been shown to raise testosterone levels. Same way as pregnenolone. Pregnenolone converts to DHEA, which converts to testosterone. And in women, it's also been shown to increase estrogen levels as well. So for those postmenopausal women, pregnenolone's been a phenomenal resource. The plethora of things out there. There's so many to actually go over that I can't hit every single one of them.
Especially when you get into like the myths of the things that don't work.
D-aspartic acid. It's been out there in the supplement world to boost testosterone. I mean, straight up. However,
more claims.
Let's do the research. Once you do the research on it, studies are actually showing that by taking the-aspartic acid, it actually lowers testosterone.
Oh.
So if you want to think on placebo, it makes it better, great. If you want to take a crap ton of it, your test may go down. So, wah, wah.
Is that the sound of testosterone dropping?
Yeah, didn't you hear that?
I mean, I did hear it, but I questioned it.
Tribulus, which is what the video that I had done and pulled out was. Now, the early Tribulus, the Bulgarian Tribulus called Tribestan, which is unfortunately not around anymore. Phenomenal source, raised it. They were actually using good quality Tribulus root, which is kind of like a tar, kind of thick when you take it. And yeah, it was shown to increase testosterone levels in healthy individuals. The problem with it nowadays is you get crap. You get the leaves, which are not the right source of the plant. I mean, in herbology, you have to use the right part of the plant. It's like echinacea. You use the root. You don't use the flowers on there.
Right.
But when you're cutting off the root, you're also killing the plant, and it makes it tough to continue on with a company that's dependent on plants. So you take a part of the plant that's incorrect. It's way over processed. It becomes powdered, and it's garbage. And unfortunately, theoretically, Tribulus should work if you have the right part of the plant. There's a book that I got on the bookshelves there called The Shepherd's Purse. You ever hear of that one?
No, they have.
It goes through, not just for testosterone. I don't even know if you think it gets into testosterone. It's more of other healing, pretty much every herb known to man. Where it's grown best, how it's grown best, what part to use, and why to use it. Phenomenal resource. Anyone wants to pick it up at a specialty bookstore, probably on Amazon. Everything's on Amazon.
Specialty bookstore called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a couple questions, believe it or not, from direct messages.
Oh, awesome.
And it was on this, so I figure we've got another topic to go over, but why don't we cover a couple of these right now since it's still on point.
Let's go for them.
All right. So we have Pamela from Seattle.
Hello, Pamela.
And Pamela asked, does alcohol affect testosterone?
Oh, fun question.
Well, Pamela, long-term use of it, yes it does, and not in a good way. Your testosterone levels will go down. Short-term use of it, it's not really going to do much. So if you have a drink, a glass of wine, a couple beers, you should be okay with that. But yeah, chronic long-term use of it is not going to really help out too much.
So I've actually looked into that previously because I was asked the same question. And from what I saw, it was mostly because when you're drinking constantly, you're not getting a lot of those vitamins, minerals, most things you're trying to put in your body due to lack of absorption. So you tend to get a lot of issues, and yeah, that easily could end up being one of them.
Absolutely.
And you're becoming less healthy when you're not absorbing everything you want. Well, everything you should be eating and getting in. If it's not getting in, you're not getting it.
Right. So Pamela, have fun with your alcohol in moderation. Let's see. We've got Josh from Israel.
Oh.
Yeah, all the way from Israel. You got to see where the demographics are coming from. It is amazing.
I have, and it's interesting.
Right?
Leave that again.
So thank you so much, Josh, for messaging us your question. And Josh's question was, does creatine influence testosterone whatsoever? And oddly enough,
says?
slightly.
Ah.
Believe it or not, it does slightly. I mean, if you're going to go for a test booster, then creatine monohydrate would not be, or any of the other forms of creatine would not be my first go-to. But yes, it slightly does. And on a side note, Josh, it also is starting to be shown to be neuroprotective. Yeah, and the study's been around long enough where creatine's not going to harm you in any way. So 5 grams a day keeps the neurological doctor away.
Shameful.
Right. All right, we've now got Warren from New York, New York. Warren has asked, does powerlifting influence testosterone in any way?
How much time do we have?
The short answer of it is yes, it does. During certain lifts, we'll pick on deadlift for fun now. After post deadlift and doing a max, your testosterone levels do spike. They go up. It is short term though. So don't expect to be doing it over and over and over again.
Just deadlift 12 times a day.
Yeah. Everyone knows your body will break down. Plus, as we talked about earlier, making your body in a pro-inflammatory state by doing too heavy, too much, going with that high intensity. You're going to start screwing with heart rate variability. And you know what? Shantae would be more than happy to treat you at that point, but bring it down. But it is a very short-term effect. And we so appreciate you, Warren. And you know what? Let's send Warren a t-shirt.
Done. Well, not yet, but yes.
Yeah, let's send him a t-shirt. And Pamela and Josh, we appreciate you guys very much for direct messaging us, and as a show of our gratitude, we want to send you some awesome biohacker gear and wear it with pride and tag it every time you wear it.
Best part, we'll tag back. No, seriously, thank you for making the comments. It's a big deal to us. One, it gives us something else to think about and do. And if there's something that you guys care about, so we can actually get that information to you.
Absolutely. So, we've kind of hit up testosterone a bit. Oh, the last thing with testosterone, the different forms of how to increase it, last things least. Seeing anti-aging specialists is really what I'm going to come down to. We kind of touched upon it before. Testosterone, lack thereof, has been shown to cause heart disease. It's lethargy, it's depression, it's obesity, cognitive function goes down, so having proper levels do help. And it is not normal to have low levels for the rest of your life, while it naturally appears to go down, which a lot of it has to do with environmental issues.
It doesn't have to be low. Again, just because you age doesn't mean you have to become decrepit.
Right. So there is hope for you as you age, and those of you that are trying to get ahead in a sport or something like that, weigh the pros and the cons of what's going on. Do you really want to have to be on a testosterone supplement for the rest of your life because you screwed up your natural production? I say no, but everybody else feels differently. There's some research that Shantae has actually showed me that people are willing literally to kill themselves if they know they're going to die in the next year, but they can win a gold medal or a championship at a very high level, they will do it. So, but after that year comes and death starts knocking on your front door, you may start thinking about something else. So this is truly biohacking to the nth degree of keeping your hormones at a proper level. Which is a segue of keeping hormones to a proper level, because certain other toxins that you're eating on your fruits and vegetables
I was wondering how you were going to do that one. Okay, nice.
greatly reduce that function. So what do you got, Dr. Mike?
So I got a question just to have some fun with you real quick. Produce, do you wash it before you cook them? Or eat them, or in general?
Today or other times in my life?
I think I said in general, so you pick.
Other times in my life, yes. I used to wash them with grapefruit seed extract.
Used to, okay. Trying everything to get out of being pinned down here. Excellent. So, I mean, in general, everyone says, wash your produce before you eat them. And I've been told, you can just Google it. Why? Like, oh, remove dirt, remove bacteria, remove pesticides. Great. Anyone know if it works? Because
I'll eat dirt and bacteria all day long. I mean, I'll biohack my gut.
Because if you're eating dirt, you're getting that still too. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Adapt. Just adapt or die.
Right. So, I mean, someone actually asked me, they had a study that they found, asked me about this, well, my opinion, pretty much asked me if I read it or not yet. And there were different ways of washing produce. And the first I went to is I just went in Google search, wash produce. And there was a big thing that caught my eye. What it said, it was a lot of places it said gingerly rub under running water.
Ooh.
To get rid of ginger. Get rid of all this dirt, bacteria, kind of like. But when you wash your hands, I've always read it says vigorously rub. So I'm trying to figure out why there's a difference. Like, are we supposed to have more dirt in our fruit than our hands that we eat them with?
You're supposed to have a housekeeper named Ginger. She'll rub it vigorously.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure if you have to rub your hands to get them clean and hard, but you're supposed to do it soft on produce. The only reason I can figure out why they don't say rub roughly is that if you can only scrub berries so much before it becomes juice. But I mean, so it comes to the point. And that just didn't really make sense to me, because there's been other studies I've read that shows, really, you've commented on this one before, but using soap to wash your hands and produce really doesn't make any difference compared to, it's mostly the friction motion of rubbing your hands. So use soap, don't use soap. There's things, one, you get this residue that goes over it and it seeps in the fruit or produce in general. It's not something that we want. But the study that was sent was comparing different ways to clean it. Because a big reason, pesticides is a major worry. You know, they're neurotoxins. They deal direct damage to, well, your neural tissue, which is everywhere.
And it's neurotoxin, yeah.
I mean, it's been
I don't
shown.
think people get, neuro is more than just brain.
No,
It's all those wires
everywhere.
we call nerves that come from the brain and go throughout the entire body to your fingertips and your toes and everything else hanging.
I mean, too many of these pesticides, herbicides, they've been shown directly linked to anything from Parkinson's disease, asthma, cancer, leukemia, thyroid, infertility. Well, you know, it goes into the whole testosterone issues, autism. They're all been linked to it. And when you look at what kind of produce we eat, in general, I mean, it does vary. Like apples being at the highest amount of, including organic, which is the main reason people switch, is to avoid pesticides. All apples have 97% of them have pesticides on them, like that they show.
Insane.
Yeah, I mean, tomatoes and mushrooms are right around the 50 to 60%. I mean, this is all of them. And the FDA even regulates these things, saying, oh, they're in safe levels. So it really comes down to is what can we do to try to avoid them? Because nobody wants, DDT organophosphates in our food. There 99% of us have DDT in our bodies, which is
Just
interesting.
a little bit of Roundup a day keeps the. I don't know what word with that one.
No, but I mean, so DDT, as you mentioned, that's in Roundup, weed killers, or it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And DDT has actually been shown illegal since the 70s.
That was what, the 6-glycophosphate, that is the big one?
Yeah, which is still just a breakdown of the same stuff.
It's insane what that does to people. And the birth defects and...
I mean, this really is a big deal.
Huge deal.
That's why last you said eating the
weeds.
dirt. But no, I mean, it's...
Right.
Because there's only so many ways you can avoid it, because it's just in our food supply. Even if you go to the organic where they're not spraying down all the produce, one, these farms are right next to other big farms. I mean, it's been shown that the air drift will spread pesticides, herbicides from one farm to the other. Or let alone if you had, this is a new organic farm. The half-life of most of these chemicals are 4 to 5 years. So even a decade down the road when you're planting vegetables, they're still being absorbed into the dirt, or from the dirt, at least to an extent. So there's only so much we can do. Obviously, I'm not going to say don't eat your produce. Organic is a lot better. There's 70% less pesticides in organic in general compared to standard. Again, that does vary with different, most of the fruit are worse than the vegetables, which I'm almost surprised you didn't smile a little bit on that one. But I think that comes down to sugar and water content. But what can we do? If we have to wash our produce,
Stay
you
away
threw in a
from
great
fruit,
one.
huh?
Wait
That
for
one?
it. So, you mentioned you had an interesting way of cleaning off produce. For people who didn't know, the standard when they take all the vegetation, pull them out from the dirt, most places clean them with a Clorox bleach solution. First off,
Halogen, another neurotoxin.
Yep, kind of a big deal. And in this study, that was one of the 3 things they actually used to measure if it worked to remove pesticides.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, so they use comparing running tap water to rub